I tried to send the other recordings and they bounced back. So I'm gonna have to find a way to condense them and then send them.
Okay,
Usually it's easier to put them up on a Dropbox if you use that.
I do,
Oh,
I
okay.
do,
Rather than send them by email
can do that.
and then just send us the link of the Dropbox and that's it. It's easier.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my first question since I missed most of the previous one because I was on the road along with the junior. Is he gonna join us?
he has inspection, but
Okay.
he knows.
Okay. So, yeah, I wanted to see the recordings if possible, but anyway.
Okay,
So,
That's a
I will
question.
get those out.
there's a question over.
Are we starting on questions?
Yeah.
Good morning.
There we go.
Good
Now you
morning.
knocked out Andre.
I guess, last time you guys spoke about a non-credit card fee. I was
Okay.
wondering what this was and, you know, when can you use it?
We did mention it, but we skipped it because we took, somewhere along the line, you said, or somebody said you were not going to rent for cash deposits. And a non-credit card fee is literally a cash deposit. So let me reiterate, are you requiring credit card on everybody?
I mean, if you can suggest a way that we can take cash, then I guess we can do it, but if you don't suggest it, then I guess we shouldn't.
We do not suggest credit or cash rentals for at least the first year for everybody,
Why the first year?
because you get more, how should I say, you get your sea legs. You get more and more information about people. You get more accustomed to what they're looking for. You get more accustomed to qualifying the customers properly because there's a lot more to take in a cash rental. We'd be happy to go over it with you if that's something that you really think you'd like. But you have this for a whole year, so you can always call us back and say, okay, we feel comfortable. We want to take some cash rentals.
Here's the issue, in my opinion, just to add on. When you've got a customer who does not have a credit card and wants to post a cash deposit instead of a credit card. All right? In this day and age, why would somebody not have a credit card?
Yeah,
risk.
credit, they don't have money.
That's
they're not
right.
responsible.
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. Now, the question is, why would you give them your $60,000 car?
Yeah,
They can't maintain a credit card. Why would they maintain a $60,000 Tesla?
you know,
Mhm.
actually, when I think about it, we are taking cash deposits. I mean, not physical cash. It's paid by a debit card.
Fine,
that's
but it's the
considered
same
cash.
thing. The customer has a debit card. That means the customer has a bank account and he can maintain the bank account. And when you go to get approval on that debit card, you can get it because he's got the money in the bank.
Right.
But are you talking, when you say cash deposit, you're talking about physical cash. You're not talking about debit.
We're talking about taking physical cash instead of a credit card.
Okay.
Somebody who does not have a credit card or a debit card.
Okay.
Now,
Now,
you can certainly do it. The risk is so high on your cars that, and I've been in this business 45 years, I would not rent a Tesla on a cash deposit.
Yeah, I don't think we would.
Well,
my
If someone
first
doesn't have a
accident,
credit card, you don't even know if they're trustable with your car.
we took the payment of the car with a debit or credit card, and then they paid the deposit cash.
But you have a credit card.
Because
Well, Okay, I don't know why you would do that, but you certainly can.
Because
But I
it's just
would
because
want,
of the fees that the bank charges to return that.
yeah, we haven't got to that yet. Customer qualification comes a little bit later, I believe. But
Let
the
me
point
address
there is,
that, please. The,
I'm sorry,
if the bank charges you, say, and I'm gonna use 3%, because no matter what you signed up for with your folks, it always adds up to 3%. After you add in the fees and the blah, blah, blahs. But they'll charge you, when you make the charge. But they also credit you when you give the money back.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm gonna ask, yeah, I need to
if
ask the bank and make sure that they're doing that.
If they are not, call us back. We'll get you a different processor. Because you need to have, because this business, the rental car business does that all the time. Even the airport, which is, we're finding out more and more about guys at the airport are charging $1,000 against a credit card and nobody knows it because they don't tell
Oh, really?
them. Yeah,
oh yeah, you should be taking the expected rental plus at least $250 upfront.
upfront.
And I
Yeah,
think,
we take $1,000 deposit.
okay, good for you, because I was just gonna say something like that what most people are doing.
Yeah,
So you're gonna take the rental plus $1,000 and run it on the man's credit card, put the money in your bank.
right.
And,
That's simple.
and don't take authorizations. No, like David said, take the cash.
Right,
Take the
make the
money.
charge, just like you sold him a t-shirt. Put the money in your bank in an hour or two. When he comes back, you calculate all the rental fees, any damages, et cetera, and you give him back whatever's not used out of the money you took in advance.
Yeah,
And you always want to be in a position where you're refunding money.
Absolutely.
That means that your deposit structure is good. And when the guy comes back and he gets money back, he's happy.
Mhm.
yeah,
When he comes back, if you ask for more money, now he's not happy.
You know,
Even though he may know he owes it, but that's not a happy scenario. And you were talking about experience. Rental being an experience, you're selling an experience. Well, you want the experience to end good, meaning you're refunding money.
what do you suggest we refund in the amount of like 2 days, 3 days, right away?
nothing.
Right.
You
We
only
should refund
refund
the
when
money.
they bring the car back.
Right, but, so we should wait, so just in the same moment they return the car, we say, okay, your money is refunded.
Yeah, and you'll probably, depending on what you're using, what processor you're using, you can either send him a receipt or her a receipt, or in the email, or it'll print out a receipt. We don't know what tell me about your processor. What machines do you use?
Right now, we're using Square.
Okay, you got to get away from that right away.
Yeah, we were setting up with First Source Bank.
Okay. Those
So
are the
we're,
people that were at the show. Did you guys go to the show?
no,
Okay.
but Ed recommended First Source Bank, so we're starting
by
with them. We had to open an account and everything, so we have that ready and we're gonna do the credit card deposits and everything with them.
And by the way, Ed said he was going to sit in on your sessions and we haven't seen him.
I received an automatic email reply that he is out of the office.
Okay, that's, there are tons of Jewish holidays in the month of September.
Mhm.
And I know he feels that out of respect, he doesn't work those holidays either.
Mhm.
Anyhow, back to what I was saying, you should, what are you using for your front end rental management system?
Excel?
Okay.
Excel?
Yeah,
Hmm.
we suggest you get a front end management system.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, we're working on, I know we're working on that with our website. So we're going to have something that takes care of our inventory and lets us know what cars are out, how many cars we have left.
They all do it.
Yeah, they all do
Yeah,
that.
they
Now,
all do that. That is very basic.
you got your insurance through GMI,
Yeah,
so are you gonna get the Rent Centric program?
yes, we have that as well.
Okay. So that's what is called a front end or a rental management system. It tracks your cars, it tracks your, and this is the other reason to have a debit card and or a credit card on every rental. Because you do have toll roads in Florida. So you may not get the bill for the toll road for 1 to 2 weeks after the people drive through the toll.
Right,
Want to be able to go back and hit their credit card.
right. And the same, I was gonna ask you about tickets.
Same thing with tickets, parking tickets.
Or red light tickets.
Yeah.
Sometimes
red
they
light
come
tickets
after a
as
month.
well. Yes. It's funny. Everything is going automated, including the police. So we're gonna have, those are two big reasons why debit card and credit card should be required. Now, on your rental agreement, you want to make sure that it's written in there that tolls and red light tickets and parking tickets that come in after the rental are still their responsibility. And I would even put a little spot next to it where they have to initial that.
It's on the rental, if you are using Rent Centric, first off, understand it's the cheapest deal out there. Because you're gonna get that from GMI for strictly $500, no monthly fee.
Right.
But your rental agreement is on the system. So you're simply filling out the rental agreement on your computer. It also tracks your cars. Well, we lost her.
It's okay.
We're here.
It does everything you want to do. They also have credit card processing available as a part of the system. That you can integrate the credit card processing with the Rent Centric, and it's all done right there on your computer, one step.
Why aren't we using Rent Centric?
We have it, but we need to learn.
Hmm.
We need to also modify our rental agreement, not for a gas car, but for electric vehicle.
Mhm.
So we created the account already. We have logins.
Ah.
We need to learn
Okay,
how to use it.
note-taking time, you ready?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe somebody was there yesterday.
I want you to start, and this is just, if I was the owner, I would say the next rental agreement, the very next rental agreement, you handwrite it just like you have been, because that's what you're doing, is you're handwriting them. You go to your Rent Centric and you open, after the customer leaves, you open up that rental in the computer. When the customer comes back, you pull the handwritten rental agreement out, close it, give him his copies, send him on his way, and then everybody gather around the computer and go in and close it out in the computer. And then compare the two. And don't go crazy because you forgot to charge them this or that or the other thing. Because it's a learning process.
Mhm.
Now, it all begins with the setup. So when we're done today, go out and turn on Rent Centric and make sure the setup is done properly. Make sure all your cars are in there. Set up your depreciation that we're going to be talking about shortly. You can set up your monthly payments. You can set all of that up in there. as well as your rates. And you can put in multiple rates, high rates, low rates, bottom rates, whatever you want to do. Okay? Replacement rates, you can go crazy. Because it's unlimited. And then the rates for your daily extras, which we're going to talk about shortly. And you put those in. And that way, when after the customer leaves, when you go to open up the rental agreement, it will calculate properly.
Mhm.
And if it doesn't calculate properly, before you start blaming RentCentric, go back into your setup to make sure you've got it charging properly. Because there are multiple ways to charge for your daily extras. You can have a one-time charge, you can have a daily charge, or a partial charge. And having said that, there are multiple charges that you can do with those. So you want to make sure that RentCentric is set up exactly the way you want it charged. Same thing with fuel, okay? Now, in your case, you're not charging for fuel, but you are charging based on the charge left in the battery.
Should be, yeah.
Yeah. So you need to come up with a number for that so that when you're opening the rental agreement, you know how much the battery is charged before it leaves, and then how much they used and didn't replace.
Now, let me interject. About 60% of the customers I deal with for training and so forth are using RentCentric. I haven't come across one yet that thought the setup was particularly difficult.
Yeah.
And I have not found one that complains about using RentCentric.
Mm-mm.
All right, the only issue with RentCentric is there's one lady named Marge who does the support, and she's a very busy lady. All right, but if you just sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna set this up, I'm not in a rush, I'm gonna get this done, all right, and clear your mind and don't fight the system, it's a very simple setup. But it does ask you a lot of questions and it gives you a lot of room for input. Okay.
Now, we do not train on the system because we have so many different options for software that we'd have to have a staff of 100. There's close to 100 different
Right.
rental management systems out there, and there's a new one coming up every month. But they're all basically the same thing.
Did you say 60% of people are using RentCentric? Is that the
Yes,
most
that's
popular
what,
one?
well, from the ones I deal with, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 out of 10.
And they're very happy, very happy.
Mhm.
And if you have any questions or any problem, you just email them.
Okay.
Email them, text them, call them. All right, and they're happy to work with you. But you have to understand that you, half of the setup is you're telling the system what you want to do. You're telling the system you want an underage surcharge and how much, an additional driver charge and how much,
Yeah.
calendar day, 24-hour day. You're telling the system what to do. All right. You're putting all your cars in the system, and we're taking too much time on this, but you put all your cars into the system. And when you get to that point in completing a rental agreement, you hit a button and all the cars available to rent pop up. And now you simply choose one and it automatically populates the rental agreement with everything about that car. It's really a class act. It's a great.
As well as it'll bring up your, if the customer is a repeat customer, it'll bring all his information or her information forward.
Yeah, if he's ever rented before, just put in the name, it'll pop up.
Now, one last thing, and I'll give up on software. You're going to be using the rental agreement that is provided by RentCentric.
Mhm.
And with it's a plain paper. and it's printed on the backside with all the legalese for Florida. And the front is plain. So you can load it in an inkjet printer. You don't need the expensive impact printers. You load it in an inkjet printer. And when it comes through, it prints on the blank side all the information about the rental, the customer's name, the car, the fuel out, fuel in, or in this case, the battery level out and in and miles and so on. And then it prints out two, one that you can give the customer and one that you keep.
Mhm.
And it also tells you who wrote the rental agreement. Then when the customer comes back, you're going to close out the rental agreement and you print out two more. Mr. Jones, here's your receipt showing that your refund for your deposit and how much your total charges are. Done. And then you get a copy, which you have to keep for 7 years. Okay. Now there's a
Okay.
whole movement now to scan everything in, and I guess that's okay because you can always reprint them.
Then
Okay.
at the end of the month, you print, okay, what was the revenue for the fleet? What was the revenue per car? What is the tax we collected? Because you got to send it to the state, et cetera, et cetera. It's all right there. You just hit a button for whatever report you want. It's going to give you more reports than you're ever going to be able to read.
No, you'll never need them all because
You
it's
choose what you
designed for
want.
anybody to run whatever report they want.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to run your sales tax report. You should run a revenue report. Okay. By the way, folks, Indre, what do you do for the company? You're a manager, right? What do you manage in your company?
Not a manager, and I'm office
You manage
assistant.
all the cars.
I'm not.
What do you do?
Also, I wanted to add that we use Excel and QuickBooks. So, and we use Square app to make invoice. And like you mentioned, the first name, last name, VIN, mileage, days, total taxes. So we do it everywhere on Square, on QuickBooks, on Excel. I just hope that Rent-Centric will make it easier.
Oh, yeah. Everything.
Yeah,
you do-
Rent-Centric does all that.
Everything
Okay.
you do, it's already there.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
you do is push a button or two.
Okay, and me, I'm doing, well, a little bit stuff for Klaus parking systems. The mail, for Try Tesla, managing like car fleet, updating the schedule, helping to Amanda, taking care of cars, like we have some marketing, we have some stickers, we have SunPass. I register all those little things. SunPass, 95 Express, free toll lines.
It sounds to me like you're the general manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. She's the manager.
Oh, that's so sweet, but I don't want it yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So
And-
the Rent-Centric,
Sorry, the.
Oh,
the
and I'm
person-
working also with QuickBooks. Yeah, maybe this is them. With Try Tesla, yes, QuickBooks. Because,
You wash cars. You
oh yeah,
deliver.
I deliver cars as well, yeah.
so
With Amanda.
who cleans the bathrooms? That's about all that's left, right?
We have a cleaning lady for
Okay, good.
that.
Because that's
And the
my
other
job.
fellow, I'm sorry, Bruce, I believe, is the fellow that's with us today. Is that Bruce?
This is Carl.
That's
I'm Carl.
Carl.
Yeah.
Carl, what do you do with the company?
To be honest, not much.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
And
I
you're
was
proud of
hired.
it.
He
Yeah.
just started.
I started a month ago to be general manager of Klaus and Try Tesla. And I'm working, when it comes to Try Tesla, I'm concentrating mostly on the marketing campaign to try to get the digital advertising up as much as possible. I'm looking at print media and other ideas that we have. And then on the side, I'm kind of learning from these ladies as to what it is that they do and how well they do it, and how to improve it. I'm looking at the website that's being created, And I think Rent-Centric is probably, been made foolproof by now. So we really should try to implement Rent-Centric and see how we can.
And
Absolutely.
did I hear that you were with Tesla?
No,
Oh.
no. I had it's a long story, but no, I'm working with Triad Tesla and with Cloud Sparking at the
Yeah.
same time.
Rent-Centric will make everybody's job easier. You will
Oh, yeah.
see
Oh, yeah.
after the first week of opening and closing a few rental agreements, and even if they're fake rental agreements, it doesn't matter because you're creating something. Okay?
Yeah.
You continue to run the system that you're running now,
Mhm.
and then you run Rent-Centric next to it for 30, 60, 90 days.
Yeah.
And then until you're comfortable that you're getting all the reports and everything that you need. Now, one other thing that you're going to get is you can tell Rent-Centric what you want on the face of the rental agreement. So if you have specific things that you want on the rental agreement, make sure you tell them so that you can get that done. And I think we've beat up Rent-Centric enough.
Quick question.
Yes,
Just get it. All I
Or
can say is get it, use it, do it. You'll be happy. It will do everything I've heard you people talk about.
and more.
Yeah.
Quick question, modification of the rental agreement in Rent-Centric or modification of the receipt as to quantifying fuel versus electric charge.
That's all done there.
We do it all, or do we have to
Not
ask them?
necessary. It's not necessary, but you certainly can. Rent-Centric will make changes for you.
Yeah,
They're not necessarily going to do it for free. It depends on the change.
Mhm.
But you also have to be cautious what you're changing. All right, because your insurance company has requirements, which is why Rent-Centric is using the GMI rental agreement.
Right. No, it was more,
It's the
it was
same
more
rental.
adding to,
It's
it
the
was
same.
more adding to, like, child seats, return, the return battery, things like that.
Yeah.
Than actually changing.
yeah,
can
where
make
it
a
says
number of
fuel
changes.
out, fuel in, you want battery level out, battery level in,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
yeah, but that's not big
That's easy.
issues. It's not a big issue in the rental process. It's just charges versus gas. But yes, they can make those changes for you.
We can't do it ourselves.
I really don't know. I haven't
And
tried it.
I think they have to make it because it's part of the programming.
Yeah, and it's the GMI rental agreement.
Okay,
So
And
any
Can
changes
you
that
give
you
an
want to
example?
make, they have to make for you.
So I didn't know how to do. I asked help. They said $400. Then I asked Ed. So
But-
then we asked them.
But to my experience, nobody has wanted to make any changes that were serious,
No, no.
yeah,
that were a big deal. I mean, it's just small issues here and there. So what I'm saying is don't let that slow you down
no,
from using the system and converting to a software program. Because
and
nothing
I
is more
believe
complicated.
Rent-Centric has like a grace period where if you have changes you want to make, they don't charge you for that.
Yeah,
So talk to Michael Yosef if you have any questions.
but believe me, there's nothing there that's more complicated than what you're doing now.
As a matter of fact, less complicated.
Oh, I mean, it's far less, yeah. Okay,
Okay.
when we were talking before, we were on the profit plan. And we were talking about setting up rates and so forth. And we were talking about what your rate should be, and we were talking about the formula that's been used in this business, was taught to me 45 years ago, that you should be looking for target revenue every month of 10% of the purchase price of the car. So in your case, and it's up on the chart now, we have a $60,000 car, meaning we're looking for $6,000 a month in revenue. All right, now what does our rate have to be on this formula? What we're saying is the first thing you need to know is how many rental days you're going to be able to generate on the car. And a rental day is a day in the month that the car is on rent. And hopefully the car's going to be on rent 24 days a month, which is 80% utilization. That is your target. You with me?
Yes,
Can you repeat that last part? I'm sorry. Repeat that last part, please.
You got a $60,000 car.
Yeah,
Target revenue per month on that car, the revenue you should be bringing in on that car is 6,000 a month.
okay.
We're going to decide, we're going to try to figure out what rate we need. So we've got to know how many rental days we're going to generate on that car. And the target is 24 rental days per month. That's the number of days the car will be on rent. So if we take the $6,000 target revenue we need, divided by the 24 rental days we're going to have, the rate has to be $285 a day.
Okay.
That's.
I remember we talked about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and remember, I'm just going over very quickly.
Okay,
And
thank you.
remember that program, 10% of the purchase price is set up so that 1/3 of the revenue goes to your car cost, 1/3 goes to overhead, and 1/3 goes to profit in your pocket. So we try to build a business with a 33% profit. That's
Excuse me,
what the formula tries to do.
Excuse me 1 second. 60,000 divided by 24, right?
6,000.
6,000 divided by 24 gives me 250.
Well, let's see. 6,000 divided by 24 is 250. We're right, you're right, 250.
All right.
We were playing with so many numbers last
Yeah.
session,
Yeah,
and Jim is trying to put this all up on the screen, and it takes longer to do that than it does to talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that car,
I
that-
type like this.
on this program, that $60,000 car will bring in a year, $72,000. Because you're gonna bring in 6,000 a month times 12. So that's the formula. Now, how close you can get to the formula, that's management. All right, and a lot of marketing. All right. So the key here is if you are establishing a $250 rate, now what do you need to do to run your business? The only thing you need to do now to run the business is to do the marketing to get the 24 rental days. That's all you need to do, because
Mhm.
everything else is set. And if you hit that target, you've got a 33% profit in your business, assuming now that we're going to take 1/3 of that for the car cost of $2,000 a month. Your car cost won't be that high. Okay, questions? Let's move on then. We can always.
yeah, question. Can you
Yeah.
please repeat that formula? 1/3 of revenue for a car cost, 1/3 profit, and another 1/3 is the cost of what?
It's the
Expenses.
overhead, the
Overhead.
cost of doing business, your rent, your salaries, power,
Operating expenses.
Okay,
operating expense, overhead.
yes,
Now,
okay?
I want to throw something else out. These are not numbers that we just reach up and we pull down. For most of David's career, he was the turnaround guy for major corporations and airport operations.
Mhm.
And they would send David in where there were 6,000 cars and they were losing money. And David used these formulas to turn those places around and make them profitable. And how many years you did that for 20 years?
Mhm.
Yeah.
First thing I did.
Yeah,
I'd go in, I'd get a fleet list, I'd get a with car cost. I'd take a look at depreciation, I'd take a look at rates and combine the three to this formula. All right? And then
Yes.
start making the management decisions that were necessary to pull that business into this formula. And luckily for me, not because I'm smart, but because nobody else was doing it, I was able to turn around these companies and make substantial profits.
Question for you.
Pardon me?
Question for you.
Yeah,
These cars, our average, let's say it's not 60, it's around 65,000. So it's like $270 per car per day.
right.
Right now, the competition, let's say for this type of car is out on Turo. And the average rental for these cars varies from $100 to $200 a day. Let's say average.
Excuse me, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, that's $150 average a day on Turo, where
Mhm.
people can rent out their own car. So that's what we're competing against.
Why?
So I'm
Why?
wondering,
No,
yeah, how do, yeah.
go ahead. I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
So I'm wondering, how easy would it be through the right marketing to try to rent out this car for $270 a day, when the average on Turo, which is, private owners, et cetera, are renting.
I know, Turo. Yeah.
It's 150, and we'd like to get 270 a day.
Here's the answer.
Yeah.
Turo is not your competition unless you want to let it be.
Okay.
It's in your own mind that Turo is a competition. Now, what is Turo? And I'm sorry if I'm too direct, but I'm a very
No, that's what
friendly
it is.
guy.
Yeah.
I answer questions directly.
Yeah.
Turo was never designed
Right.
to run a business.
Yeah.
Never. It was never designed to run a business. It is not today, and it will be not tomorrow. Turo was designed to help you make the payment on your car, which sits 4 days a week.
Pay your bills.
So, yeah, so you have a car with a monthly payment of $800, and you can put it on Turo for $50 a day and pick up a couple of $100 against your car payment. That is what it was designed to do.
Mhm.
If you take a look at Turo for Teslas, you're competing with Aunt Mabel,
Yeah.
who has a $900 payment, and she's happy to get $100 a day
Mhm.
because it helps her make her monthly payment. That is not running a business. That is loaning your car to another company to rent for profit. You are not in the rental business when you're using Turo. You're loaning your car to someone. All right? Now, am I interrupting something?
No, I'm listening.
Okay. Now, when you're setting up a business, you have to set your business up to make a profit.
Mhm.
If you were charging $100 a day, I'd like to know exactly how you're going to be making money.
can't-
Right.
Where's your profit? There isn't any.
Right.
You've got a car cost here, whether you're financing or not, you've got a substantial car cost here.
Mhm.
You've got salaries, of 4 people at least. I mean, you got to cover $16,000 a month in salaries.
Yeah.
Turo doesn't. When you put your car on Turo, you're not covering a salary. Do you get me? So it's two different animals. Turo is great as providing extra rentals to you.
Yeah.
If I was gonna put my car on Turo, I would put my car on at $285.
Mhm.
And that's, I
Right.
think, where that 285 came in. I would put my car on at $285. Let everybody else have the $100 and $150 car.
Yeah.
And
Because it goes,
eventually, what's gonna happen is they're all gonna say, wait a minute. Why am I only getting 100 when these guys are getting 285?
That's right.
And you're gonna see that they come up. Their rates are gonna come up. And that's what you're gonna have to do. Now, I did exactly the same thing years ago with the competition that I had in Rochester, New York. And what I did was whatever my competition was doing, I went $1 more. The next thing I knew is they raised their rates $1. I went $1 more.
Mhm.
And they kept raising their rates until I got them up to where I wanted them to be. And we did not have websites. With all our marketing was done toe to toe, belly to belly. We didn't even have internet. And guess what? We didn't have computers until 86. So 85.
I want to do, and you have 24 cars, right?
I'm dating myself, right?
Okay. All right, so this is a formula, guys. You know, what I'm suggesting is do what you can to get as close to it as you can. Don't be so put off by Turo. All right. Everybody said when Turo started, it's going to wipe out the car rental business. Never happened. Car rental business continues to grow. All right, with Turo. All right. So now let's take a look at unit cost and gross profit for a moment on the next slide. We've got it up on the screen. And we're now all of a sudden we're talking about a $65,000 car.
Yeah, because that's what he just said.
Okay, so now we need monthly revenue of 6,500. Now, let's talk about the payment. If you are financing on car rental financing, and by the way, how is the fleet financed? Is it financed or cash, or how'd you handle that?
Up to now, we've bought all the cars, and that's 25 cars. We're gonna add 15 cars now with a bank financing.
With bank financing?
Yeah,
Okay. You've got depreciation that you have to deal with, especially if you paid cash. All right, you've got to understand that the value of the car that you paid cash for is going to drop. But let's take a look at the payment. Typically in car rental financing, you're going to make a principal payment of 2.5% of the purchase price of the car. And you're going to pay 6% interest. And so the monthly payment, if you add the 6% interest to the 2.5, you're looking at paying 3% of the purchase price of the car per month. Now, has the bank told you how they are going to amortize the car, what the principal payment would be?
Bruce is handling that, but I believe it's gonna be more or less, I'm guessing, a 5-year. Yeah, for the cars, 3 years? 3 years, 4 or 5%.
Probably 72 months, right? 5 years?
Were you
No.
talking about the loan?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know about the loan.
no, the loan.
It's probably gonna be 3 to 4%.
Yeah, 4%, 5 years is my guess. It's where it's at.
Okay, so your payment's gonna be $1,300 a month. Minimum, plus interest. So you're right in there. All right, so you're gonna have a monthly payment on that car of $1,950. All right, and that is right in line with the
That's based-
1/3.
That's based on 3% total.
That's right, and he's very close to that on 72 months, because the bank wants it paid off in 5 years.
Now,
You lost,
Of 5
sorry,
years,
you lost me there for a second. Can we go back?
yeah,
So it's a $65,000 car. 5 years to 60 months, 4% interest. What?
It's the average number, the average price of car.
And it comes out to $28.73 for me, a monthly payment.
How much?
2,873.
That's your monthly payment?
That's what I get at least, unless we're putting a deposit, but if it's all loan, yeah.
Yeah, that's about close to, well, okay. Yeah, I take that if we're gonna take a $65,000 car
Yeah.
and on 72 months payout,
Oh, 72 month. Okay, I did it on 5 years, 60-month payout.
oh, okay, okay, so you're doing, okay. All right, so now 2873 is what percentage of 6,500 a month?
That's too high.
That's
monthly
about
payment-
45%.
That's right, 44.2. So your monthly payment is 44, let's call it 45% of your revenue.
Yeah.
All right, now we have ours at 1950, which is 28%.
Now, this is cash. We're talking cash now.
Yeah, we're
We're
talking
not
cash,
talking operating. Now,
right?
Yeah.
if you were able to shave a couple of points, or if you had a down payment, that changes it. What we're talking about here in this, on this screen, is typical rental car finance. And the bank that you're dealing with, I don't know who it is, but you want to talk to them because here's a couple of things that we looked at. Your cars are going to depreciate. And we're going to talk about that some more. Your cars are going to depreciate about 15% a year. So at 3%, 2.5% times,
Excuse me just a minute.
yeah, 2.5% times 12 is taking 30% off.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's higher than normal. Okay, so, or higher than what your cars could be. So, and normal rental car finance is what we call 24 with a balloon.
Oh, okay.
So you make 24 payments and a balloon, you pay the car off and you move the car on, either sell it off or what have you. Now, I understand your business model is somewhere along the line, you want to turn it into a driverless cab.
Right.
So
And the
let's
other
just-
thing,
Huh?
you mentioned the average is 15% depreciation per year.
Right,
If you look online for the last 10 years, the average depreciation of a Tesla after 5 years is about 50%. It's actually the least depreciating because of the fact that it's not a standard motor vehicle.
right. Standard motor vehicles are about 20 to 25% a year.
Right.
And Tesla, because it's a new quantity and it's in demand, you got to use at least, you should not use less than 15% because we're talking book depreciation. We're not talking real dollars.
Okay.
We're talking your books. So if you depreciated 15% a year, and let's say we got a $65,000 car. Where's my calculator? So we're going to take $9,700, okay, times 2. Because we're going to do it 2 years. So we're going to take roughly 20 grand off. It's going to be a $45,000 car. So we can take that $45,000 car now and move it into another entity. So
Sorry.
if we go to the NADA book, have you used the NADA book?
I have.
So we use an NADA book. There we go.
Are you looking up the Tesla Model
Yeah.
Y or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking up Tesla sedan.
I was thinking you were looking it up on paper on a book, but I'm dating myself.
I got one in the drawer.
The yellow one or the blue one?
Yellow book, yes. I got a blue book too.
Yeah.
Tesla Motors. Now, what year are your cars? 21s?
Yes, mostly 21.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back. We're doing this thing on 2 years here. So I'm gonna go back 2 years. So you paid 21 for a 21, now it's a 19.
Okay.
And let's use a Model 3. What are these
Model Y.
$65,000 cars?
Model Y better, which is mostly what we have.
Okay. And I'm gonna say long range, are they for all-wheel drive?
Yes.
Yeah, but you're using Model 3. Can you take a Model Y by any chance?
That's not, they didn't make one in 19.
Oh, okay. I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's your zip code.
33143.
Now, how many miles are you gonna put on it in a year? 30?
How many miles are we putting in a year in these cars?
A year,
20,000?
20.
20,000?
Okay. And I'm just gonna price it with standard equipment. So you got a guide to go by. What did I say that car was gonna be worth? I said about 45
You said
grand.
45.
Average trade-in, which is pretty close to wholesale. 45,200.
Yeah, but the Model Y is worth not
It's
65,
gonna
but
be worth a little bit more, and that's good.
no. The Model Y is brand new, wasn't 65. It was
61.
55, no?
61.
61, the Model Y?
Well, with the FSD.
Oh, okay.
And FSD.
But they're looking at the average Model Y,
So 51.
51. Yeah, that car, brand new. Is there a way to see what it costs brand new on that page? Because we can't see it on our phone.
51,125.
Yeah, that's what it was. There's your depreciation.
Yeah.
50,000.
Yeah, this could be a Zort for all practical
How
purposes.
many years? 1 year?
2 years, 2019 to 2021.
Is that good, right?
That's excellent. But, you know,
Yeah, the
we do have,
depreciation in Tesla is a lot less than a regular car.
yeah, we do have the supply chain crisis around the world that's about to really explode. We're not there yet.
I understand.
But still depreciation is not that bad.
No, it's not. But you have to have a base. Now, it's
Yeah.
2 years from now.
Mhm.
We have this car on the books for 4520. Okay?
Mhm.
That's what we have it on the books for. But let's say worldwide, it's exploded and everybody loves cars that are electric now, and the car's worth 50 grand.
Mhm.
What's wrong with that?
It reverses.
Why?
When there's more available, the prices drop.
Usually drop. But I'm assuming right now, I'm taking his scenario, that he
Oh,
thinks
okay.
it's going to be worth more money. So if it's
Yeah,
worth
they're hard to
50,
get too.
if it's worth 50 in 2 years, what's wrong with that?
That's wonderful.
Because now you have your third profit center.
Mhm.
Remember, Profit Builders has 3 profit centers. The 3 profit centers are rates, daily extras, and gain or loss of sale. And in this particular case, using these numbers, you've come up with the depreciation number, okay, that you're gonna own the car for 45.2. If the car is worth 51, you made 6 grand on every car. So you're gonna have another corporation for the cabs. All you have to do is transfer that car for the current market value to that corporation. And your rental car department picked up another $6,000 on every car. Follow where I'm going with this? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Where are we now?
This one doesn't make any sense because this is on 20 units.
Right.
All
Okay,
right, profit builders are the rates, the daily extras, and the gain or loss at sale.
Daily
there are
extra.
3 distinct profit centers.
Okay, now, I think we covered this before with the other two, but I think they're missing. These are the most common additions to the rental business. All right, the first one would be RCP. You cannot sell that because it does not cover Teslas.
What is
But
RCP, sorry? What is RCP?
Renter's collision protection.
Mhm.
It's an additional, it's an entirely separate program that pays for damage done to your car by the customer.
Mhm.
However, it's not available. Obviously,
Tesla.
I'm interrupting.
Okay.
It's not available on Tesla. Okay, authorized driver. Can my brother drive the car? We'd be more than happy to let your brother drive the car, and the additional fee is only $25 a day. Over at Enterprise, they're charging $25 a day for an additional driver.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
We do too.
And
So they're charging the airport too.
When did it go so high?
It's been that way for quite some time. It's manager discretion, so it depends on what the agency is. But most of the locations have gone to 25.
now that's $25 on a Chevy Impala, not a Tesla. On a Tesla, I'd want 50. All right, but that's up to you. This is an additional option. Now, we're going to, what's the value of that? Well, the first thing you have to figure out is the number of rental days that you have available in your fleet. In a 20-car fleet, we would have 48 rental days available at 80% utilization. All right, so I'm going to say that we would have an authorized driver 20% of the time. So that authorized driver at 96 days at $25 a day is worth $14.40 to us. I don't know, let me.
No,
take
it's more than that.
25 times 96, 2,400. Yeah, now I'm expecting the numbers to change as we talk and they can't.
I'm trying.
I think that's just confusing. But anyhow, that's worth $2,400 a month. Do you rent to people under 25?
Yes.
Yes.
$40 a day.
How much?
$40 a day we charge.
Bingo. Then
You're
that's what
too
an
low.
additional driver's charge should be.
You're too low. I would go 50, but we've got 25 on the screen. But that's up to you. Anyhow, that is an additional charge, additional income.
Additional driver should be how much?
50.
$50 a day.
50 additional driver?
Yeah.
You got double the risk.
Can
Remember,
we-
that additional driver has to be there. You gotta see him.
So,
Okay.
okay, so what happens when somebody comes in and you tell them it's $200 a day and they want to have an additional driver, that's $250 a day, and they're like, no, I'm not gonna put the additional driver, and they just drive with,
Fine.
behind our back.
That's our
Fine,
problem.
they're gonna do it anyhow, but the point is, what's the difference between 20 and 50? What's your argument? Your argument is you're trying to charge too much money?
No, I'm saying they're gonna do it behind our back because it's too expensive.
When
And-
we,
How does that work?
They're gonna
when-
do it, they're gonna do it at 10.
Yeah,
10,
we'll do
20,
it for
30,
$5.
6.5.
Here's the deal. When you're qualifying, which we're gonna try and get to today, when you're qualifying the customers, you're gonna ask them, are you and all the additional drivers over 25? And they're gonna say, well, we're both over 25. Now you know you have an additional driver. You don't quote 200, you quote 250. And you don't quote the rate on the car until the customer comes in, or you don't quote the rate until you're ready to quote the rate. And that's what we're going to talk about when we get to qualifying. So if we've got $50 a day on 96 days, that's $4,800.
Yeah. That's for the additional driver, but you're saying we should charge for under 25 separately.
Another 50.
Another 50, okay.
You charge what you want.
Yeah.
Okay. We're telling you what, how should I say, what the ratio should be.
All right, so under 25, if you wish, another $50 a day. We have an operator that's $100 a day.
I have a guy in Brooklyn that when I asked him what he charged for his under 25 driver's charges, and there were 1,200 people in this room, and I could see him with this smug look on his face, and everybody's going $10, $15. And I said, Bob, what do you charge? He says, I charge $85 a day for an under 25 driver. I said, so you don't want an under 25 driver? He says, no, I do. I'm the only one that will. And
That's
most of your Highline rental car companies,
They won't do it.
they won't do an under 25 driver.
We're gonna charge $100 extra
I like
for
it.
under 25. You want under 25 to drive a $65,000 car? Pay for it.
Pay
This
for
is
it.
the key you gotta keep in mind, guys. And I'm hearing that the thought is not always there. You're not in the basic Toyota Corolla car rental business. You're not renting to a Toyota Corolla customer. All right, you are in the Highline business, $65,000 car business. That's a different customer. And that customer is not that price sensitive. The customer is service sensitive. All right. And I think that it's important to keep the two of them separate because it does make a tremendous difference in how you approach the business. Okay. Cash profit on sale. You have depreciated the car down.
Now, we're gonna have to do new numbers on this, David, because it won't let me edit it.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna take a $65,000 car. And straight line depreciation is 20% a year for the feds. That's what the federal guidelines are. So a $65,000 car times 0.20 equals $13,000 a year in straight line depreciation. And I'm going to divide that by your monthly tax depreciation, which turns out to be 1.67. So that is, oh, I did times 12, sorry. So we're looking at $1,083 for your monthly depreciation.
Right.
So your book value on a $65,000 car at the end of 12 months makes it $52,000.
Yep.
Now your unit payoff, because we don't know what you are doing for your cash and your finance, but your unit payoff should be less than 52, or at least match 52.
What do you mean by unit payoff?
You bought a $65,000 car.
Yeah.
12 months from now, you will have made payments down on that car. You won't owe 65,000 on it. You will owe a payoff of less by $13,000. Because it all depends on what your depreciation, you're gonna owe less than $52,000.
Got it.
Okay, you're buying the car for 65. You're gonna depreciate the car by $13,000 in the first year. And hopefully you owe less than, or at least match, the $52,000 for each car at the end of 12 months. Now, that means a $65,000 car minus 26,000, which is 2 years worth of depreciation, equals the book value on that car after 2 years is 39,000. And we already determined the car is going to be worth about $50,000 when you go to sell it 2 years from now.
Yeah. That gives us
So-
a profit of $11,000.
There's your third profit center.
If we
There's
want
your-
to.
There's your third profit center. And that leaves your room in case the car is all beat up and destroyed and what have you. You can always get the 39,000. And that's a wholesale number. So if you move it to the cab company, and I'm going to call it the cab company, you're going to be moving it over at 50. The rental entity is going to pick up $11,000 in profit. That's your third profit center of,
We sell it to the robo-taxi company
yeah.
with $11,000 profit for us, and the robo company started.
Because if the robo company had to go out and buy the car, what are they going to pay?
Right, right,
They're going to pay
60
50 grand.
or more.
So
Or
you
more.
should, for one
Yeah.
Well,
car.
for a new one, I mean, a new one, I'm sorry.
No. I'm talking about a used one.
Okay,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
A $65,000 used car, 2 years from now is going to be worth 50 grand. We just did those numbers.
Yeah.
So if the robo company was going to go out and buy a 2-year-old Tesla that was $65,000 new, they're going to pay 50 grand for it.
Yeah.
So they might as well pay you 50 grand. That entity is a whole different company.
And what's great about it is that a robo-taxi, the user doesn't really care about the year,
It's cab.
but the
Right.
rental, they'd rather have a rather new model.
And you'll find out that these numbers fit. So I want to do an exercise here. David, you want to do this?
But can't hear you.
Sorry about that. We have an
Alright.
inspection going on.
Can you repeat the last part? We couldn't hear you.
Okay, let's talk about return on investment, guys. And what we're going to do is compare buying cash to paying to buying on financing. And right at the top, let's say that we bought a car for $65,000. Our monthly payment then would be 3%, would be $19.50. The total of payments would be $19.50 times 12.
Can you start that calculation again? I'm sorry. I
The
couldn't follow.
monthly revenue, what did we decide the revenue was? I don't remember.
For which one?
For a $65,000 car,
That would be 6,000.
6,000.
500.
6,000 times 12, 72,000.
Yeah,
Or, I'm sorry, 65.
6,500 a month.
65,000. Okay, 6,500 times 12. So the revenue should be 78,000.
Right.
All right, so the return on investment, guys, is going to be 233%.
that does not change.
No. Because you only paid, or that you did not pay $65,000 for that car. When you finance, you only paid the monthly payment times 12 in that year for that car. So in the year, you only paid $23,004 for that car.
Right,
And it generated $78,000 in revenue.
right.
So the return on the investment was 233%.
But are you saying selling it after the first year?
No,
No, we still own the car. I mean, we have
we're
the
still
car.
renting the car.
Okay, after the first year.
Mhm.
Okay, so now let's say that we paid cash for the car.
I'm still catching up. Hold on a second, please.
It's all right, take your time.
All right, we only paid, you're saying 23,000 in 2 years,
1 year,
in 1 year.
The monthly
And
payment,
how'd you get to that number?
65,000 divided by.
the
3%.
monthly payment times 20 times 12.
Okay,
In
but
this
the month,
case, the monthly payment should be $19.50 if you were on regular car rental financing.
okay.
That's all we can use at this point because we don't know what your financing is going to be.
Right.
Okay, that's a monthly plus balloon, basically.
That's a
Not a
monthly
balloon, it's a
balloon.
monthly payment.
Yep, $19.50 a month for 24 months in a balloon,
Okay.
which is
the
based on
typical-
48 months, right, David?
Yeah,
Okay. Typical loan, 24 months,
I'm going to take these numbers out.
balloon based on 48-month loan. Got it. Got it.
Okay,
all right, so let's do recap.
Bruce? Oh, absolutely.
Hold on 1 second.
1 second. Actually,
Now, here's something on the very top here. Your return on investment is your ROI equals the gain from the investment minus the cost of the investment divided by the cost of investment. And your
Yeah.
investment is not 65,000 when you finance it. Your investment is 23,400 a year
right.
because you're making payments. And you're going to return $78,000 in revenue based on $6,500 a month.
Mhm.
Right.
So your return on investment is 233%.
When you get that 60, what is it? The monthly revenue is what?
We 10% of your cost is your target revenue. 65.
How much is that per day? Can we do that?
We just did it. It was 285,
285 per day?
270. Where is it here?
No, that's 8,000. I mean, how many days?
270 based on 24 rental days.
78 divided by 12 is 6,500 a day, divided by 24 days, it's 270 a day.
What is 24 days is what is
Now,
that?
these are calculations. You can plug in your own numbers anywhere you want to go with these.
And right now we're doing the percentage we're doing of days.
Right now, I'm gonna guess we're doing 20
We're doing
days?
about 15 to 20.
well, that's why our marketing has to go up like crazy. That's why that whole plan is there. We need to get our marketing up like crazy, and we have to set our own prices. We can't be setting ourselves based on Turo. We have to bring Turo up, actually.
Yeah, because
I think we need to add $20 to our prices on Turo. And
we tried doing that.
no, but along with the marketing campaign, so that we're not, if we just raise prices on Turo, we're gonna lose sales. And we're not
Right.
You're gonna lose money.
So
But,
what
but,
I'm
but
seeing,
if we do our marketing campaign and we have our own website and we're renting on our own and we bring our prices on Turo, all we're doing is bringing up the market.
Our last day, we're going to be talking about marketing. Make sure that you're with us on that one.
Okay,
Okay?
20, yeah, I need the links for the other videos because.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to get those to you.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot, maybe 90% of the people that contact me, they say I saw you on Twitter.
Now, a lot of what we went through in those days.
That's because we're not marketing everywhere else right now.
All right.
Um,
Okay, so David, we got $65,000. So our total payment was $65,000.
Correct.
And we brought in $78,000.
No, monthly was 6,500.
I did that wrong, yes.
No, you're right. The total of payment is 65,000. The monthly revenue is 6,500.
The percentage
Total
drop.
revenue is 78,000. All right, the return on investment is 20%.
Oh, yeah. We can't just stay on Turo.
No, I'm saying when you finance and when you buy cash. The percentage of what you make in that year, if you buy cash or if you finance.
Okay,
8%.
guys,
Yeah,
we are, we're losing, we're off on a tangent and we shouldn't be.
Okay.
Because I want you to get all
This
the
is
information.
just as an example. We beat this dog absolutely to death,
Yes,
all right? But the point of it is, when you pay cash, in the first year, you've got your entire payment is your total payment, 65,000. You brought back the same 78,000 you would bring back on financing, but your return on your investment now is only 20%.
right.
Because you invested $65,000 to generate 78.
Right.
Now you can take that through to year 3 and the formula stays the same. All right. For the financing. All right. You're only making your monthly payment. Your return on your investment is a constant 233%. Now, if you pay cash in the second year, all right, the math works out that you're going to get your return on investment up to 140%. However, financing, you're still at 233. So based on what you are spending to get the revenue you're receiving, you're better off financing.
Yeah, that's because of the value of leveraging, but, can we do the calculation for the second year? Because I can see the first year.
We just
have
did
a-
it. Okay.
No, not with the
All right,
financing,
let's do second year.
not with the financing,
Second year, your
Cash.
monthly payment is 0.
right?
Your total payment is 0.
Right?
Your monthly revenue stayed at 6,500
Right?
or $78,000.
72 or 78, yeah.
Or are we 72?
78, yeah.
78.
Fine.
Right.
So the point is, I'm sorry, in year 2.
It's infinite.
In year 2, our monthly revenue was still 65,000, but we brought in 2 years of income. Okay, so what was it? I'm sorry, 65,000.
No, the income, the second year, the income is still 78,000. And,
But the
No.
total revenue for 2 years is now 156.
right? Oh,
All
you're
right,
looking
so
at the overall, I see how you're doing it. The overall, the 156 divided by the 65 gives you an overall of 240%.
divided by 65.
Yeah, it gives me 240%.
Okay.
Yeah,
The gain from the investment is 156.
yeah,
But you paid 65,
Minus 65.
so you've got a 240.
So we got 91,000 divided by
oh, okay,
65,
140, 140%. Yeah,
Right,
140%.
right.
right. Not only that, by not leveraging, you're limiting the number of cars that you have tremendously because you're investing all your money in very, very few cars. So
Well, now
And-
let's talk just a second on that.
Yeah.
When you invested money, somebody invested $1.4 million into this business to buy those cars.
right?
Those cars are depreciating 12% a year
Yeah,
on the book. Now, that's not the depreciation you may take, but that's the depreciation Nate is showing.
right.
So somebody is losing $160,000 a year
Yeah,
on that investment.
yeah,
Where is the return? All right, is the return going to be a percentage of profit? Well, there is no profit. You get me? So somewhere along the line, the business has to be paying the investor a certain amount of money to keep the $1.4 million, $1.4 million.
mhm,
You get me?
yeah,
Otherwise, it just keeps dropping every year. 140 some odd thousand a year dropping.
Yeah.
To the point where it has the investments gone. So what we suggest is if you're gonna pay cash, wonderful. You did, so you want to deal with it. Take and set aside 12 to 15% of that investment per month to pay back the investor. So that there's always 144 there to buy more cars or do whatever you wish.
Now, take a look at, we got to dispose of the car after 2 years. And I plugged in the numbers that we all agreed on.
Okay,
So at the end of 2 years, David, we're going to sell the
all right.
car
Yep, so
for
you're gonna,
51. But we want to buy another $65,000 car. We got to come up with another $14,000 in order to do that. Cash. And times 20 cars, if we rotate, if we maintain a 20-car fleet,
You want? 5
to roll that fleet over, we've got to come up with $280,000 in cash in 2 years.
Yeah.
Where's it gonna come from? All right, so that's the value of financing. And again, if you paid cash, set aside the depreciation to pay back the investor. All right, and protect the investor from the depreciation of the cars. All right. Let's go to the next one. We're gonna talk now about, I think we are,
Expense categories.
gonna talk about expense categories. Go ahead, Jim.
Your expense categories are pretty basic. They're unit expense, direct vehicle expense, variable and operating expense, your occupancy expense, personnel expense, sales expense, general admin expense. Now, candidly, this is very basic. You guys know what a Ford Mustang is?
Yeah.
Ford Mustang was drawn on the back of a napkin. Did you know that?
No.
No.
Lee Iacocca was having lunch with a guy and he said, take a look at this. We can build this on a Falcon chassis. That was the Ford Mustang. This is the back of the napkin program that you can do every month so you can start working on next month. And you don't want to do this. Too many people get caught up with those spreadsheets that have, 1,000 categories in 36 months. We don't want that. So we're going to talk about your vehicle depreciation, interest, and registration. That's the unit expense. Some people use cash, others use expected depreciation. I like depreciation. Direct vehicle expense, maintenance, repairs, gas, oil, and tires. Your variable operating expense, which means your insurance, shuttling, parking fees, dropping a car off, picking a car up, that kind of stuff. Occupancy, pretty straightforward. Rent, telephone, building maintenance. Personnel, payroll taxes, and bennies. Sales expense, advertising, marketing, and web charges. General and administration is your office supplies and equipment expense and all others. David, what do you do with the security department?
Neuter the dog and call it the security device.
There you go. That was a joke, you can laugh. Unless you're the dog, by the way. This is a pro forma. So we're going to make changes to what numbers we have here so it fits you. So your revenue per unit for a month was how much? Go to your notes.
2,000 with ours.
The one we're supposed to come up with?
The ones that we just did is 6,500 times,
5,500 a month.
5,500
okay?
times 24 is 156,000.
Right?
Then we had option sales. I believe it was 48 plus 48. 9,600.
Okay.
So what was the total? $165,600 is what I get. All right, now fleet. I'm gonna figure the fleet at the standard financing because I don't know yours, and that's gonna be 3% of the purchase price per month, which is $19.50 a month times 24 cars is $46,800. All right. Now, the first thing I'm going to look at is what is the percentage of my unit expense to my rental rate revenue? All right, so I want you to take the 46,800, which is your vehicle expense, and divide it by 156, which is your first level of revenue. And what's your unit cost? What?
What was it again? 46?
No.
No,
Take
no. What was the number you were dividing?
46,800
Okay,
divided by 156,000.
30%,
There you go.
There you
And
go.
what was the original design?
30% or 33.
33.
Yeah.
So we've got an extra 3% we can throw somewhere else now, don't we? Because our fleet costs came in low. This is your first thing. Okay, go ahead.
What is your direct vehicle expense? We want to use
Maintenance,
your
repairs.
numbers, okay? Your direct vehicle expense is going to be maintenance, repair, gas, oil, and tires.
It's extremely low for an
Okay,
electric vehicle.
so pretty much tires, right?
Yeah,
And what's a set of tires on a Tesla?
They range from 200 to 300 each.
Okay,
Yeah, so-
so let's say $3,600. All right,
A year
3,600.
to change. Wait, how'd you get that?
Huh?
how'd you get 3,600?
I'm thinking out loud. I
Oh.
shouldn't do that.
Now, you're not gonna replace all the tires in a year, but you want a forecast for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you gotta
these
figure they're gonna
Teslas,
last 2 years.
no,
you got
they last,
1,200.
I'm sorry, they last about 6, 7 months.
That's it?
That's
Because the
it.
Teslas are heavier than a normal car because of the batteries, so they wear out the tires faster.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So tires are, let's say 250 average.
You gotta
times
change them
4,
probably every year.
It's $1,000 twice a year is $2,000 per year per car.
Okay.
Times 20 cars is $40,000.
Just something.
And then after that, we have windshield wiper fluid, and that's it.
Yeah.
Cleaning.
So
And
we're
cleaning.
gonna have 2 sets of tires in a year at 800, right?
Yeah,
For 1,000. Depends on the tire.
alignment, yeah, all of that.
Are we
Okay.
buying containers of tires or are we buying tires at a time?
Tires at a time.
Oh, we have to go to containers
Mhm.
because of the quantity of cars. Also, the other thing is, usually you want to sit a tire for like 3 or 4 months before you install it. They get, they finish vulcanizing and it will last a little longer.
Never heard that before, but okay.
Oh, I own a construction company and a rental equipment company, and
Ah,
that's an old trick by truck drivers. I have concrete trucks and
okay.
everything. And what happens is they take it out of the factory, and the vulcanization process, the solidification of the rubber, it's kind of like out of the oven. It's still soft.
Right,
And if you let it sit for 3 or 4 months in cooler weather, not super hot,
right.
then it hardens a little longer, and then the tire will last longer if you put it right away on the vehicle. And it's designed that way because sometimes the inventory sits for a year.
Yeah.
So, they plan on it, but it depends when it was manufactured, and you do that and it lasts just a little
That's
bit longer.
interesting. I never knew that. Cool. So let's say we're gonna look at $4,000 with alignments and tires per car times 24.
Oh,
Is that right?
No,
2,000.
4,000 per car per year,
2,000,
no.
2,000,
2,000 per car per year.
yeah.
So that is what, 180 a month?
That seems a lot.
Yeah, that's 166 a month.
They usually for 6 months. Tires.
Oh,
So that's 39.84 a month.
Let me ask you something quickly. Their experience here is with brand new cars. And brand new car tires, in my experience, last less than when you buy just the tires. Is that correct, or am I wrong in that?
Depends. If you're
I've
buying a
not heard-
Highline car, usually they come with Highline tires on them.
Right,
Yeah, I've not heard them.
you never heard that?
If
Okay.
I bought a Chevy,
Yeah.
a mid-size Chevy, it's gonna come with basic tires.
Yeah.
If I'm
less-
buying a
these are high school.
Cadillac, I'm getting a premium tire.
Yeah, the reason is the lower end cars, they give you less rubber because they're making a bulk deal on very cheap tires.
Yeah.
And you know, you're gonna change them, and when you change them, you put on good tires. But I guess the high end cars like this won't
They
be,
come in high.
so
yeah,
they're
high
always gonna last 6 months
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, the red one,
that you've replaced, the 6 months. Okay,
at least the back.
okay, so we're
Well, I
looking
would-
at $3,984 direct vehicle maintenance
Per
per
month.
month.
right.
Okay, very
Variable
well.
operating expense.
It's,
Your insurance is what? 230?
Before I forget something, can I just mention it? The
Yeah.
maintenance, how should we keep that of the cars? Is there something that we need, like a I don't know, a inspection report for each? Should we be keeping that?
That's what we'll get to when we get to fleet, yes.
Okay, you talk.
And you can keep all that in Rent Centric.
Oh, okay, okay.
And you know why it's important to do that? One time, one of my trucks, it is in another country, not in the United States. It was carrying 23 guys in the back of the truck. And the truck went over a speed bump. It broke the direction and it went into a housing, into a huge drain pipe, a ditch, whatever. And it went boom. And the guys got hurt. Nobody got killed, thank God. And right away the radio comes and he interviews one of the guys and he goes, well, the company doesn't do any maintenance, so we lost our brakes. How's that? Talk about the lawsuit that was coming, and we had maintenance records and we showed no, you know, the guy was talking out of place, and that wasn't the case. But if you don't have maintenance records and something happens, somebody could say the company did not maintain the car, and that's why my son died in the accident. It's your fault.
Yeah, you have to keep maintenance records.
Yeah.
So variable operating expense, how much is your insurance? 230 per car?
Yeah. Is it 230 exactly?
That's about 30.
5520
Yep.
for insurance, 5520.
Yeah. Any parking or delivery fees? Not really.
Excuse me. just a
Delivery
minute.
for the client?
Say again?
You asked delivery fees. Are you talking about what we charge the client for delivery fees, or is that for what we pick?
Expense.
No, I mean, yeah, when we get Ubers and things like that.
So how much are you spending a month for Ubers?
It's about 200 to 300.
Let's plug in 400.
Per car?
No, for the fleet.
No, for the fleet.
So 59.20 a month.
Mhm.
How much is your rent?
The rent here. Grand Thistles pays, hold on one second.
Right now, we're doing $2,000 a month, but it's because, you know, their sister companies are we're being very nice.
I like it.
Yeah. It's a very low.
And how about personnel? A lot of you are cross-trained. So you want a percentage. You come up with a number.
I'm sorry, you're cross-trained, you said?
Some of you are cross-trained, some of you are
Companies.
working for the parking, and some of you are working for the rental,
Right, we have, Tesla pays 2 employees now.
okay? And the total,
And before it was 0. Sorry for the noise.
that's right,
So right now it's with overhead, it's around 10,000 a month.
How many people?
2.
2?
sales and marketing, how much are you spending now?
Sales and marketing, I don't think we're spending much, but we're about to start a program of 3,000 a month. How much are you spending on Instagram? Anything?
Small amount.
And what's that $3,000 gonna buy you?
$100 per month.
What we're spending on business cards, on stickers,
Okay.
decals,
We're probably spending
500.
500 a month right now.
Okay,
We're going to do several things with marketing, but a digital campaign that will include Google Ads, like a pay-per-click campaign, social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Then banners and remarketing like Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC, and all the apps on your phone. And then search engine optimization. All those are gonna go for about $3,000 a month.
okay,
And then after that, we're looking at the possibility of putting a sticker behind the headrest of the passenger seat of Uber vehicles that pick up passengers at airports, at Miami Airport or Fort Lauderdale Airport, with a QR code where they can say, I want to rent a Tesla. So that sticker is, one-time fee that we buy the stickers and we put them on those cars, and we pay the drivers of those Teslas for the rental space, maybe $20 a month.
that's
For
commissions,
this-
yeah,
Yeah, and then after that, so that might be like $1,000 a month. Then print media, we're gonna find out 2 magazines, American Airways and Avianca magazine, the one that's coming from the United States and the one from Latin America. For people who are flying into these airports, to just call us if they want to have a car waiting for them, a Tesla waiting for them at the airport. And then we're working on the website, and that was $5,000 a one-time fee. And a new website. And we're looking at parking cars if possible, with a rent sign at Tesla stores and at shopping centers, particular line of shopping centers. And finally, the possibility of air banners on airplanes by the beach, along Miami Beach.
so how much do you want to plug in for sales and marketing? About $4,000?
I'm gonna say, no, I'm gonna guess more like 5 or 6, 5,000 a month.
G&A running 20 cars. That's your computer, your internet, paper, pens, that kind of stuff. I would say 500 is probably okay.
We gotta add the 3% credit card fee.
Yeah,
Which we charge the client.
So that's a wash. We don't have to show that as an expense.
No,
Okay,
how is it a wash? I'm sorry, I got
we
lost.
charge the client for the credit card fee, processing fee.
And then,
Well, it evens out.
oh yeah, that evens out because we pay it. But the G&A doesn't cross out. That's 5%. Okay.
What's that?
The administration, general cost of administration.
We actually charge it. Oh yeah, that is the administration fee. We call it as an administration fee and we charge 3.5%.
Okay,
No, but there's general costs and administration that go with the company.
Oh, yeah.
so it's pretty much a wash.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're gonna be paying 3.5% for your
Credit card,
credit cards anyway.
a merchant.
So let's take a look at total expenses here.
I can't see. What do we have there?
I'm adding them up.
Oh, okay.
I come up with 74,704.
So did I.
Per month?
Per
74?
month. Yes.
73? Can you please repeat?
74,704.
Now, remember, on this one, if I can, this is your monthly cost of doing business. 74,704. You don't make any money until your revenue exceeds 74,704.
74,000 per month.
So 74,704.
That's including that payment of the car, right?
All right, you don't make a penny until your cars generate $3,112 a month each. Divided by, let's say, 24. So it costs you $129.69 a day per car
Operate.
to pay your overhead.
Oh, hold on. You got 74,704 divided by 20 cars, right?
24.
Oh, 24 cars or 20 cars?
I've been using 24, so if something
my.
changed, I didn't catch it.
24 days or 24 cars?
24 cars.
Okay, so divided by 24 cars. Okay, so 74,704 divided by 24 cars, divided by 24 days
Right.
is $129.69, $130 a day.
That's just to pay your overhead. There's no profit there.
And that's per car.
Per car per day, 24 days. If you're getting 21 days, it's going to go up to 140 something dollars per car per day.
Right.
And if you're dropping to 15 rental days, it's going to go up close to 200.
Mhm.
So that's one number you want to look at before we finish this. All right. Now, and Jim got ahead of us, thank you. If we take our revenue less our cost, we've got an operating profit of $90,896 a month. If, and it's a big if, guys, if we generated the 165,000 that we show in total revenue. If you're not making it, where is it comes out of profit? Because that 74,704 has to be covered every month.
Right.
All right, so if you're not generating the revenue to beat that, you're not generating any profit. So that's the value of it all. Okay, so now the one other thing I'd like to look at. When you're ready,
Ready?
I want to look at the potential profit percentage. All right, so we're gonna take 90,896. And we're gonna divide it by 165.6 equals 54.8% profit.
Where'd you get the 90,000?
Added up all the
Oh, the rental plus the sale of the car.
expenses and deducted it from the 165.6.
Right, on the screen. So you did 165,000 in revenue. Your costs were 74.7. So we take the 74.7 out of the 165 and you had profit of 90,896. Doing a great job. If you generate the revenue that we have on the top line. If you're not generating the revenue, the difference comes out of the operating profit, the 90,000. Because profit is the last dollar in the door. So we want to know what's our profit percentage if we do all of this. We're going to take the profit of 90,896 and then we're going to divide it by the total revenue, 165.6 equals 54.8%. Net profit pre-tax. That's pretty good.
Now you've got a lot of room in here.
You got a lot of room
Or-
in there.
Or
And
you can back up a little bit on these if you don't hit the numbers.
that's right.
But
Because
these-
remember, we're looking for a third, and a third.
Right,
Your car cost came right in line. All right, the rest of it is low. So, because if we take the 46.8 out of the 74.7, your overhead, let's say 74.704 minus the car cost, which we've already calculated at 30%. All right, your overhead is 27.9, which is less than a third. So you're doing real well on your overhead. You're doing well on the fleet, which allows you to show a profit percentage in excess of the 33% that the formula is intending to show. So if you can do that, you're looking real good, kids. The key here is going to be revenue.
Right.
Okay. Because remember, it costs you $129 per car per day to pay the bills. No profit. All right, so that car on Turo for 129 less 35 isn't doing a lot for you. Because you're paying a big percentage to them.
now,
Okay, Jim.
if I was
go.
gonna put these cars on Turo, I would put them on for, you're paying 20%, right? To Turo?
I'm sorry,
Are you paying 20% to Turo?
10%.
10%? So if it's a $270 a day car times 1.10, you should put it on for, I did that wrong. Hold on. $270 times 1.10, yeah. I would put that car on for $297. so that you get your 10% back.
Actually, I think it's 270 divided by 0.9. So it's $300. You take 10% off, you pay
Yeah.
off 10%, you get 270.
Yeah. Yeah, I just multiplied it times 10% and came up with 297. So the difference is $3.
Yeah.
So we need to charge 270.
300. Toro.
All right. One more thing today. And then we're going to have to get together again. Or for our next meeting. Our break-even day is to establish our expenses. What's our break-even day?
When we paid off our car?
When we hit 74,000.
Oh, during the year.
During the month.
Revenue per month,
Yeah,
your expenses are 74,704.
okay.
When your revenue equals that number, you've hit your break-even day. Everything now becomes profit.
Correct. Now, if your break-even day is day 20, great. You got 10 more days of rental that are profit.
It's all profit.
If your break-even day is day 32, oops,
You're losing money.
yes.
Yeah.
So you want to calculate your break-even day. So you want
This
to
was-
sit back and say, and every day you go to your Rent Centric and you add up your total revenue. And you're going to run your daily business reports, which we'll talk about later. You're going to run your daily business reports to see where you're standing, and you're going to do it on the first, the second, the third. And you want to sit back and say, okay, by the 5th, we're at 20,300. How close are we to being on time to hit our 74.7? Okay. So that's what you want to look for. Any questions about what we did today?
This is all for 24 cars, right?
24.
Okay.
And you can go back, you can take that whole thing and you can go back and do it for 1 car. You could do it for 10 cars.
Right.
You can just take all of these out and put in all the numbers. You can go any one of these, because I'm going to send this to you today. And you can create your own spreadsheets. Just remember, a third, a third, and a third. Now, we haven't talked about one of the thirds yet. Well, yes, we did. Your daily extras.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that. We just didn't add in the profit on the sale.
Right. And the profit on the sale is where I stopped here. Because
Right.
we can put in $11,000 if we sell 1 car a month.
Yeah,
Okay,
just remember that the car sales goes below the operating profit loss,
yes,
because it won't occur every month and you don't want it to skewer your numbers when you do a spreadsheet. So you want profit on sales way down at the bottom.
and you don't want to buy 60 cars or 24 cars to replace these 24 cars. You want to set up a schedule of when you're going to take out 1, 2, or 3 cars. Because if you end up not putting them into the cab company and you want to run them to the auction, the last thing you want is 4 Teslas going through the auction in a row, all from one guy. It becomes a fire sale.
Hmm.
And all the buyers that are standing there that want to bid on a Tesla and they see 4 of them in a row, they're going to say, I'm going to wait until the last one comes up to see what they sell for before I spend any money.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that. You want to send 1 a week.
Yeah.
Okay? So,
My best purchase I ever made like that was a concrete pump truck.
Yeah.
They were selling 63 of them. from
Oh
a
my
company
God.
that Went bankrupt. I
Yeah.
bought the next to last one for $85,000. The first one sold for 420,000.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And everybody's going, why didn't I buy that? 'Cause I don't have enough money left. All my money's gone. Okay.
Patience.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, and I know the answer already. I know what you're going to tell me, but let's say a regular rental car company is renting Camrys.
Yeah.
And when I look at the 74,704 and divided by 24 cars, divided by 24 days, it's about $129 a day for a $65,000 car with our marketing costs and with our overhead and everything. If I prorate $65,000 car to what it costs a Camry, for these people might be maybe $25,000. It's like $45 a day.
Right.
Or so, but that's 1/3 of what they're supposed to charge. So it comes out to $135 a day. But they don't rent it for 135. They rent it for like $60 or $80 a day, 85. And
Well-
they have a million cars and they dilute all their management and everything else. But is that more or less how it works?
They're depreciating their cars at 1.2%.
Right.
So they take a car that's $20,000
Mhm.
and they're going to figure that car costs them what, $200 a month. Okay.
That's it?
$20,000. Okay, now. They
Why-
figure,
why-
okay, what their deal is they're gonna add a little to that. And they're gonna say, let's say that car costs us $250 because they want to have room in for repairs and maintenance when they sell it. Times 3. All right, is $750. And that's their cost. Now they're gonna rent it for anything they can get to go over that, to exceed that. And it's that simple.
And candidly, they're looking at, say 300, 400, 500,000 cars. How much did, was it dollar? A thrifty, no, Hertz. 2 years ago,
Yeah.
what were they making per car per month?
$11.74.
Thank you. Per car per month net.
And they were figuring cost right in the 750, 800 bracket.
So they were at $11.74, not 1,100. But they were doing that on 900,000 cars.
Yeah.
They all slap each other on the back and say, listen, look at the nice bonus we got.
Mhm,
And they're giving away their cars.
mhm.
Yeah.
And of course, their financing is different. There's nobody that can finance 1 million cars. There's no financial institution big enough. So they put together a consortium of banks that finance operations. And out of that consortium of banks that throw in billions of dollars for operations, they use that money to get their cars. And so they can pretty much write those cars down any way they want. And if they do it wrong, they lose money and complain. And if they do it right, they give everybody bonuses.
Mhm.
Doing it wrong is why Hertz went bankrupt.
And that's
And after
exactly
your
it. That's
question-
why Hertz went bankrupt.
Right.
And
But
Dollar
remember-
Thrifty and the others, they held on by the skin of their teeth, and that was
That's
good.
right. But they did because they were properly managed.
Right. And Hertz was not.
Right.
Enterprise held on because they
Oh,
have
yeah.
retail they have retail stores, and they took advantage of the skyrocketing retail prices. And they did okay. But they still got hurt.
Oh, yeah. But remember one thing, guys, about these big boys, and believe me, I was part of it at the time. If they have 500,000 cars. And they make $10 per car profit. That's $5 million in profit in a quarter. And they slap each other on the back and give each other bonuses. If they can do it every month, that's $30 per car. All right. And so you see, that's the numbers they work on. When you're 24 cars, you're in a different world.
Yeah.
You're in a different world. And so you can't relate to what they do financially or operationally. And you certainly don't want to try to compete because you're not in the same market.
Right.
Yeah. And you won't be. The big boys have all tried a Tesla here, a Tesla there. You got to remember a couple of things. The airports don't have charging stations built into their systems.
Correct.
Allow an airport operator to operate anything but a few Teslas. And the airports aren't going to be doing it. They've got other things to do. And the car rental companies can't do it themselves. It's airport property.
Hmm.
Right? So it's going to take them years
You know, one of the things, and I'll leave,
before they'll have the infrastructure to operate electric cars.
and let's talk about electric cars just for a heartbeat. Let's go back 100 years. 100 years ago, the Model T was changing over to the Model A. There were gas stations, but not very many. Prior to that, for the Model T, you would go to a hardware store and buy your gasoline by the gallon and carry out a gallon can of gasoline so you could drive your car. And there were no roads. There were a few dirt ruts. As a matter of fact, the width of the tires on the Model T was designed to fit in the ruts that were being left by the wagons on the roads. Okay, so having said all of that, we're in the same situation today with electric cars. We have a few charging stations. We don't have the infrastructure yet. So I'm sure in the
It will
near
come.
future, we're going to have the infrastructure, but we don't have it today. Do I see electric cars exploding? I can't believe that Ford would jump in to make an F-150 electric if they didn't think that it was going to happen.
Cadillac just brought out the Lyric.
Yep. And everybody's got an electric car today, even Volvo.
That's right. Everybody's got it.
So it is the future. It's coming. But
It's
like everything
where the
else,
market's going to be. Yeah.
it's going to be a while till they build a freeway for the electric cars.
I saw today a really interesting YouTube video on, Toyota is not choosing to go with electric.
Right.
They have hybrids, which I think it's a huge mistake. And they have hydrogen fuel cell, which I think it's another huge mistake. And the interesting thing is they were talking down the electric vehicle, the battery car,
Right.
because they said, the infrastructure just in Japan to put the electricity for these cars, if they were all electric in Japan, would be $430 billion. And they said, so it's ridiculous. And, the whole world's not going to go to battery cars. And I thought about it and I said, well, what would be the infrastructure to go to fuel cell infrastructure in all the United States? Or who's going to do it in the third world countries? Where is Toyota going to sell this?
Yeah, you got to
So-
have water.
Yeah, it's coming up. The United States it's well along with Tesla chargers. the other brands are so far behind that if Tesla did not exist, electric vehicles would not be viable at this point. They're
Not for a
not
long time.
practical. And they don't have enough charging stations for all the other ones. They're having problems with their charging stations. 3 out of 4 don't work. So really, this is the vehicle in the car. I do think it's not going to replace 100% of the cars, but you're going to have 20, 30, 40%, who knows? It's just
Absolutely.
really the future.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Let me ask you, what
We're
is
gonna
your,
all sit back
Okay.
and watch. This is gonna be good.
yeah,
You guys, I can watch you guys because
okay.
that's where it's gonna go.
Well, we need to get our marketing going and we need to get our prices up there. And I agree with everything you said today. I really appreciate all your input. It's too bad Bruce didn't see it, the owner, but he's gonna see the recording, so I think that's important. When are we gonna do the marketing session?
Our last one is marketing, but we've got 2 more sessions to do. I know we were gonna do 4 sessions, but we are behind. And let me see here.
On Friday one, and let me know another one.
Our next meeting for us is Friday
Okay,
at 10 o'clock.
and what will that be on?
The next session, which would be selling aftermarket, qualifying the customers, asking the right qualifying questions, setting the rate based on qualification. And we may get to a little bit more of management, some more on daily extras.
What's selling aftermarket?
It's about maximizing the revenue, selling after sale items,
Okay.
upgrades, supplemental
Add-
insurance,
add-ons.
fuel charges, that kind of stuff. Car seats, how to offer it properly, how to offer the stuff, and then fleet. Our next one is going to be about fleet, which we've been beaten to death, so that won't take very long. And but we're going to talk about in-fleet setup, maintenance, and you won't have much of that because the maintenance is, unplug it or plug it. I
Yeah.
don't know. And risk mitigation. All right. One of the things we talked about, or we're going to talk about, is road service, routine maintenance. Do you get a roadside assistance with those cars?
Yes.
For how long?
Oh, you mean by Tesla?
Yeah.
Depends what's wrong with the car. So I believe the roadside assistance is free. I'm not sure for how long though.
Okay.
I don't know. But we get roadside assistance also with our insurance.
Good. Yeah, it's $5 a month, I think you pay. And then we're going to talk about your location, how it should look. We're going to spend a lot of time on rental contract. So this is the next session. We're going to talk a little bit about rental software, which we can breeze right through because we spent a lot of time on that today. And then we'll go into business marketing at the end on Friday. And different
Oh, in the
ideas
same
to market
session?
the business.
Marketing, we're gonna do all that in the same session?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not another, its own session.
It's not its own session, no. I do have a separate marketing session that I'll send you some information on. Who's doing your website?
Person that was recommended to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
An individual.
yeah,
Has he done car websites before?
yeah, he worked with Lamborghini, Miami and Prestige.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're not putting any prices on your website, right?
Well, we want the customer to be able to book through the website.
Okay, we'll talk more about that then.
Okay.
Okay, so this was a good session today. What do you guys think?
Excellent. Excellent.
Good.
Session.
And I will see you all at 10 o'clock on Friday.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
You got my email in case you need me, so.
Go ahead and give it to me if you don't mind. I don't know. I wrote it down
Jim?
the other. Jim?
At Schallberg, SCHALBERG.com,
Okay,
and David at Schallberg.com.
okay.
All right,
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
thank you. See you
All right,
on
bye-bye.
Friday. Bye-bye.